Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today for Lone Star Legal Aid's Law Talk Fridays. Just to give you a disclaimer, this presentation is intended to serve as legal information and does not replace legal advice. Contact Lone Star Legal Aid at 1-800-733-8394 or go to http:// www.lonestarlegal.org. All right. So my name is April Williams. I'm a staff attorney with Lone Star Legal Aid, and today I'm here to talk to you about self-help resources. We are helping people help themselves. So our team includes Luigi Bai, who is our managing attorney. My name is April Williams, Andrea Martinez, our paralegal and programmer, and Janice Riviera, our paralegal and programmer. We also have another team member that contributed a lot to this program, and her name is Lauren Figueroa. She's not with us, but she definitely had a large part in the information and materials that I'm going to be presenting to you all today. So, what does our team do? Our team does limited action cases. We prepare eviction appeals and advice, uh, prepare eviction appeals documents, and give advice to people who represent themselves when they're facing an eviction action. We also have self-guided, self-help interviews that are geared towards certain specific legal topics that help people help themselves as they're navigating through their legal issues. We also create video that also goes along with a lot of the materials that we create for our online guided interviews. So, how do our services empower our community? So, we know that there are 56 million Texans that potentially qualify for legal aid services, but we're only able to service approximately 10% that actually qualify. So, in essence, there's not necessarily enough attorneys that can help those in need. So, we created these tools because we feel that this can help our community navigate the legal system with more information. It can increase the confidence that we have in the services that we provide to the community, and it helps us to serve more people because there's just not enough resources to give to everyone. So if we can't assign you an attorney, we can help you help yourself by giving you these online tools that help you guide you through your legal concerns. So, how do we assist people who represent themselves? We create online interviews that ask visitors legal questions, and we guide you through with information and resources to help you navigate through your legal problem. Our interview creates legal documents that you can file with the court, and then it also creates other documents that can help you defend yourself in whatever legal action that you may be dealing with on specific topics. Our interviews are geared towards Texas because we help people who are in Texas, and most of our laws are based in Texas law. We have a lot of videos on legal resources. Uh, uh, if it's our Lone Star Legal Aid's legal channel, feel free to check out the Lone Star Legal Aid channel. We'll try to get that link and put it in the chat for you as well on the videos that we have. Check them out. There's a lot of information in there that can help you as you're navigating through a legal concern. So, what self help tools do we have? We've created a number of tools, including an evictions tool, foreclosure, Texas Disaster Legal Help. This interview was done in conjunction with LandWIP and TRLA, uh, other legal aid organizations that service the state of Texas. We also have consumer debt, we have unemployment, we have COVID funeral assistance, and then we have the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure discovery disclosures that we created to address changes to the discovery procedures. I'm going to give you a little information on each one of these tools, And we can take all of these links, if possible, and add them to the chat. And that way you can have a direct link to each one of these self-help tools. So the first one, well, the first thing is, what does the actual interviews look like? So the first one is our A to J. We use A to J software, which helps us create the questions that will guide you through so that we can identify what your legal concern is and then get you the necessary documents that you could potentially file with the court, or just information and resources that can help guide you along the way. So this is a picture of one of the pages from our A to J interviews. It's a great tool, and it really has helped people in guiding them through legal concerns when they utilize this software. So the first interview we have is the consumer debt interview, and this interview is designed to help people who are facing a debt collector. We give information and resources that help you uh, uh, speak with your debt collectors, and also if you're being sued by a debt collector, we have some information that you can use to defend yourself in a lawsuit. This interview generates a debt verification letter that helps you verify the debt that you may have from the debt collector, just to ensure that the debt is actually yours. We give a letter disclaiming responsibility if you think you're not responsible for the debt. We have a justice court answer and jury demand, and then we also have a motion to continue in order to seek legal counsel if you are going to seek legal counsel for any part of the claim that's against you for a debt collector. So it has a number of things that it helps you with in the A to J interview. Literally asks you questions. Once you go through the questions, we basically pop out the information and resources that may be helpful in navigating your legal concern. We also have an unemployment interview, and this basically talks you through the process or explains the process when you're applying for unemployment benefits, or if you are appealing a denial for unemployment benefits. We also have, if you haven't gotten your last paycheck from your employer, we have resources and information on how you can seek your last paycheck from your employer. Um, and we also give documents and resources about the unemployment process as well. Okay. Um, so we also have an interview that is focused on the COVID-19 funeral assistance. And last year, it was announced that FEMA was going to assist persons who had family members who passed away from COVID with funeral assistance. So we created this interview to help guide you through that process to determine if you or a loved one or someone that you know may qualify for reimbursement from FEMA if you had a family member that passed away from COVID and you paid for those funeral expenses. So this interview can basically answer all the questions about the funeral assistance and then give you resources at the end so that you can apply for reimbursement for funeral services. So the Texas Rule 194 Discovery Disclosures. So this rule but this interview was made in response to updates to the disclosure requirements under the Rule 194 of the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure. And what we did with this is we created a means of generating the actual disclosures and addressing some concerns that you may have in the process of getting disclosures and giving disclosures from the opposing side. So we create initial disclosures, pre-trial disclosures, we have a motion to quash, we have a motion to extend, we have the expert witness designation in the event that you have expert witnesses at your trial, and then we also have the Rule 11 agreement. And all of these uh, uh, terms of art are explained throughout the interview so that you know that it whether or not it applies to your situation, and whether or not the document is something that you would need. So the Texas Disaster Legal Help, this interview is not an A to J interview. It's actually a legal server interview, but it it was created in conjunction with Landwit and TRLA and it helps people who may be having common legal topics that impact a person during natural disasters. So natural disasters could be a hurricane, it could be um, something like COVID, something that where a natural disaster is declared and you need some answers to common legal topics that may come up when a disaster strikes. So this interview helps with FEMA emergency assistance when you can apply for FEMA assistance. Uh, we also have landlord tenant concerns, we have foreclosure concerns, ownership, contract concerns, contract liens, and child support, custody, and visitation. And we literally give you as much information as we can to help you navigate through a common legal topic in the event of a disaster. So the other interview that we have is the foreclosure interview. The other interview that we have is the foreclosure interview. This interview was created to assist people who were having trouble paying their mortgage. This interview helps people ask for forbearance in the event that you need a little bit more time to pay your mortgage. We also give people help who want to find information about who their loan servicer is. We also give information about mortgage assistance programs that may be available to help someone who's having a hard time paying their mortgage. This interview also gives um, an answer document if you're facing a 736 expedited foreclosure court proceeding. We literally walk you through the steps and give you information about the proceeding, whether or not the proceeding applies to you, and then we generate an answer document that you could use to defend yourself in a court hearing. We also give other information and resources just about the court procedures and things that you need to know as you're preparing yourself for court. And we give that for all of the interviews. If there's an answer document or a document that you file with the court, we give you information about what to expect when you attend court as well. So some of the documents that are generated in the foreclosure interview, if you can see, this is a sample of the expedited foreclosure. It's literally a court document that you can take to the court and file with the court. And this interview, again, it generates the response to the 736 expedited foreclosure proceeding. There's a letter that we give asking for forbearance or mortgage information. And then again, we give the resources with information on asking for help with your mortgage payments because there's assistance that are available. Okay, so the interview that I wanted to speak on, and I probably put a little bit more emphasis on this one, is the eviction assistance interview. This interview helps people who are being evicted for not paying their rent. It gives you information and documents to help when a landlord files an eviction action against you. The interview also gives information that helps with lockouts and in the event that your landlord shuts off your utilities. We help guide you through this process of finding out whether or not there are some legal remedies that you can seek on your own in the event that you're facing some sort of eviction action or a lockout or utility shut off. So the documents that we generate during this eviction interview is first the answer document. Anytime a lawsuit is filed against you, you have a right to submit an answer, and that answer document lists your defenses that you may have to your eviction. So what we did, we asked a series of questions about what happened during the eviction process to identify if you have any defenses, and we give you an answer document that you can in turn take and file with the court to defend yourself in an eviction lawsuit against you. We also have what is called a writ of reentry for lockouts. So if your landlord has illegally locked you out or locked you out in a manner where you're entitled to entry back into your home, we have created a writ of reentry that you can file with the court to make your landlord let you back in your property. We also have an eviction hold off agreement. That is an agreement that you come to with your landlord that, if you guys come to some means of how you're going to pay your rent, and that you're basically asking your landlord for more time, and that you're agreeing to do a certain act in order to get your landlord to hold off on evicting you. We also have a letter requesting a copy of the ledger. The ledger is a basically a list of the charges the charges and any amounts that you have paid to your landlord, so that you can get an um, accurate count of how much you actually owe your landlord, and to make sure that the amount of money that you paid your landlord is the amount that they are actually evicting you for. The other information that we generate rent relief resources, and we updated this document so often because the rent relief resources are changing. They're changing almost every day. So we've updated the rent relief resources um, as often as we can to make sure that we're staying up to date with what's available, so that you can have the most accurate information as well. We have a letter to demand that your landlord turn back on your utilities. We also we have a writ of restoration, and that basically, if the landlord has turned off your utilities, we have a link that will send you to, I believe it's Texas Law Help, that will assist you in getting your landlord to turn back on your utilities. We have other resource documents as well. That's just eviction information that's shared throughout the interview, because the interview, there's a lot of information, and we want to make sure that you have enough tools as possible to guide you through your eviction process. So a lot of the information that we discuss in the interview, we give it to you in a resource document, so that you're armed with enough information after you're done with the interview. We also have rent relief resources, and then of course, utility restoration information. And all of these documents, based on what you come to the interview for, will dictate what resource document will be populated at the end of your interview. So I wanted to put a little bit more emphasis on the eviction portion, because just recently we found out that in Harris County alone, there have been over 60,000 eviction filings since the beginning of the year. We know that there can at times be little protection for those who are facing an eviction. We know that sometimes landlords may not be participating in rental assistance programs. Not all landlords follow the law when they're evicting people, and we know that Texas ranks sixth in affordable housing in our country. So we wanted to put a little emphasis on the eviction portion. That way, if you know someone that may need this help, feel free to send them over to this video, or share this video with them, so that they can have access to the information and the links that we've shared, because evictions are on the rise in the state of Texas, and specifically in Harris County. So most recently, we did our a last update to the evictions. I want to say maybe last month, we added some information on disability rights. We found that the Disability Rights of Texas has provided information for people with disabilities, so that they can ask for an accommodation when facing an eviction. Our interview basically just asks general questions about about if you're a person that has a disability, and then we give information on who may seek this type of accommodation, and then we send you to the Texas Rights Disability page, where they can provide you further information on requesting an accommodation. They actually give you a letter to print out, so that you can send to your landlord to request the accommodation. So that's the latest addition to our eviction interview. So that was all that I had for our interview today. Again, if you are someone that you know um, um, would need legal aid services, feel free to visit our website at lonestarlegal.org, or you can give us a call. The local number is 713-652-0077. That's all I had to share for today. I'm going to ask my managing attorney Luigi if there's something that he would like to add to the conversation. But if not, this was Law Talk Fridays with Lone Star Legal Aid.